A chilling wind whistles through the empty halls of Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Once a bustling prison, it now stands as a haunting shell, echoing with the whispers of its past inmates. Eastern State Penitentiary, with its towering Gothic architecture, was once one of the most famous prisons in the world. It opened its doors in the early 19th century, introducing the revolutionary concept of solitary confinement. The prison's approach was to inspire penitence, thus the term penitentiary. But as the years turned into decades, the prison became overcrowded, and the solitary confinement system was abandoned. In 1971, the prison closed its doors for the last time, leaving behind a legacy of suffering and despair. Since then, the deserted halls and cells of Eastern State Penitentiary have become a hotbed of paranormal activity, with countless reports of eerie sightings and unexplainable occurrences. Among the many chilling tales, one stands out. A visitor exploring the old cell block reported feeling a sudden icy chill. Turning around, she saw a dark figure standing in the doorway of a cell. She watched, frozen in fear, as the figure moved towards her, its form becoming more distinct as it approached. Before she could scream, the figure vanished, leaving her standing alone in the cold, silent hallway. The Eastern State Penitentiary is not just a relic of the past, it's a ghostly reminder of the countless souls that passed through its doors, their stories etched into the stone walls, their cries echoing through the empty halls. The penitentiary's eerie stillness, the oppressive weight of its history, and the spine-chilling tales of its ghostly inhabitants make it one of the most haunted places in America. Whether these tales are the product of overactive imaginations or genuine encounters with the spectral inmates of Eastern State Penitentiary, one thing is certain. A visit to this haunted prison is an encounter with the unknown. As the last echoes of the tale fade, one is left with the eerie sensation of unseen eyes watching from the shadows of Eastern State Penitentiary. Nestled amidst the breathtaking landscapes of Estes Park, Colorado, the Stanley Hotel holds a haunting past that sends shivers down the spine. Constructed in the early 20th century by Freeland Oscar Stanley, this grand hotel was not always known for its spectral inhabitants. Its initial purpose was to provide a luxurious retreat for Stanley and his wife, Flora, who suffered from tuberculosis. However, it wasn't long before guests and staff began reporting strange occurrences. Unexplained noises, phantom figures, and objects moving of their own accord became an eerie part of the Stanley Hotel's narrative. The most reported ghostly figure is that of Flora Stanley herself. It's said that late at night, the soft strains of a piano can be heard echoing through the halls, believed to be Flora playing her favorite instrument. Guests have also reported seeing a distinguished gentleman, thought to be Mr. Stanley, wandering the hallways and vanishing without a trace. But the spectral sightings are not limited to the Stanleys. Room 217 in particular has a chilling reputation. It's here that renowned author Stephen King spent a night and was inspired to pen The Shining, a novel that later became a classic horror film. Guests who have stayed in this room have reported seeing apparitions, feeling cold spots, and even being touched by unseen hands. Let's not forget the bone-chilling tale of a guest who, during a guided tour, snapped a photo of a staircase. Upon later examination, a ghostly figure of a woman was clearly visible on the stairs, though no one had been there at the time. Over the years, paranormal investigators have flocked to the Stanley Hotel, drawn by its reputation and the countless stories of ghostly encounters. Their investigations have often yielded unexplained phenomena, further cementing the hotel's status as one of America's most haunted locations. The Stanley Hotel, with its grandeur and elegance, holds an eerie silence that whispers tales of its haunted past. In Louisville, Kentucky, the Waverly Hills Sanatorium stands as a grim reminder of the pain and suffering that once echoed through its halls. This colossal structure, with its cold and austere facade, was once a haven for those afflicted with tuberculosis, a deadly disease that claimed countless lives in the early 20th century. The sanatorium was conceived as a place of healing, but as the number of patients soared, it became, instead, a place of death. The chilling specter of the body chute, a tunnel used to discreetly remove the deceased from the building, is a stark testament to the grim reality faced by those within its walls. Abandoned and forgotten for many years, Waverly Hills has since taken on a new life as one of America's most infamous haunted locations. Reports of paranormal activity are numerous, with tales of ghostly apparitions, eerie sounds, and a general feeling of unease that seems to hang heavy in the air. One of the most chilling encounters was reported by a paranormal investigator who ventured into the sanatorium's derelict confines. As the story goes, while exploring the old children's ward, a faint sound of laughter echoed through the empty halls. Suddenly, a ghostly figure of a little girl appeared, bouncing a ball. As quickly as she appeared, she vanished, leaving behind a chilling silence and a lasting impression of the spectral inhabitants that may still call Waverly Hills home. The sanatorium's rich history and the countless tales of ghostly encounters have drawn paranormal investigators and thrill-seekers from around the world, each hoping to catch a glimpse of the afterlife, to feel the chill of a spectral presence, and to bear witness to the echoes of a past filled with suffering. The haunting tales of Waverly Hills Sanatorium are a chilling testament to the suffering that once pervaded its walls. The echoes of its tragic past continue to reverberate, creating a haunting melody that sings a grim lullaby to those brave enough to listen. Docked in Long Beach, California, the Queen Mary's days as a grand ocean liner are long over. Now it harbors a different kind of passenger, the spectral kind. The Queen Mary was once the epitome of luxury, setting sail in the early 1930s and serving as the gold standard for transatlantic travel. This grand ocean liner was a marvel of its time, with its Art Deco interiors, sumptuous staterooms, and unparalleled elegance. But beneath the glamour and opulence, a darker narrative was weaving itself into the ship's history. Throughout its operational years, the Queen Mary was the scene of over 50 deaths, a haunting statistic that seems to have left an indelible mark on the ship. Today it's considered one of the most haunted places in America, a floating repository of spectral activity. Guests and staff alike have reported chilling encounters, from eerie apparitions to unexplained phenomena. One of the most famous specters is that of a young woman dressed in 1930s clothing, often seen dancing alone in the ship's ballroom. Her laughter echoes through the halls, a haunting reminder of the ship's vibrant past. In the engine room, a different ghostly presence is felt. A young crewman, crushed to death during a routine drill, continues his eternal watch. His ghostly figure, clad in blue overalls, has been spotted numerous times, accompanied by the scent of engine oil and the sound of phantom footsteps. Now let's delve into a spine-chilling tale that continues to baffle paranormal investigators. A guest, staying in one of the ship's staterooms, woke up in the middle of the night to the sight of a man in a 1930s suit, staring out of the porthole. As the guest watched in frozen horror, the figure turned, offered a chilling smile, then vanished into thin air. From the whispers of spectral passengers to the echoes of laughter from unseen entities, the Queen Mary is a vessel of the paranormal, a floating testament to the past. Its hallowed halls and staterooms are filled with the echoes of its spectral inhabitants, each with their own tale to tell. The Queen Mary, once a symbol of luxury and opulence, now sails in eternal limbo, haunted by the spirits of its past. In St. Francisville, Louisiana, the picturesque Myrtles Plantation hides a hair-raising history of ghostly encounters and unexplained phenomena. Delving into the annals of history, Myrtles Plantation was once a thriving plantation home in the late 18th century. The grandeur of the mansion, the lush greenery surrounding it, and the tranquility of the place belie the chilling tales that have been passed down through generations. Tales that make the blood run cold and the heart skip a beat. Over the years, visitors to the plantation have reported eerie sightings, unexplained noises, and a general sense of unease. Some claim to have seen the apparitions of former slaves, still bound by the chains of their past. Others speak of a spectral woman in a green turban, believed to be Chloe, a former slave who was allegedly hanged for poisoning the plantation owner's family. But perhaps the most spine-chilling tale comes from a visitor who stayed overnight at the plantation. As the tale goes, he was awakened in the dead of night by the sound of a child crying. He followed the sound to a room where he saw a young girl in period clothing, sobbing uncontrollably. He reached out to comfort her, but his hand passed right through her spectral form. The girl looked up at him, her eyes filled with terror, and then vanished into thin air. Such tales are not uncommon at Myrtles Plantation. They add to the eerie aura that envelops the place, making it a hot spot for paranormal enthusiasts and those brave enough to face the unknown. Each tale, each encounter, further cements the plantation's reputation as one of the most haunted places in America. With the last echoes of the tale, the Myrtles Plantation stands as a timeless testament to the chilling tales and encounters that have become its legacy.